Hey, this is Mike. Kind of battling the weather today. This kind of on and off little shower here, and that's why the vehicle is wet. But I couldn't wait to show you this vehicle, so I was like, I don't care if I get wet or not. I want to show you this. It's a 2015 Toyota Camry SE, and the SE on the spectrum of trim levels is a little bit to the lower side as far as the trim level wise. It's not quite at the bottom, but there is a ton of features on this vehicle. I mean, the Toyota Camry is loaded to begin with, so you know there's a lot of standard features. I mean, this one has leather interior and a lot of cool stuff that you pretty much might not really recognize this as a lower trim level vehicle, but since it's a Toyota Camry, I mean, they're all good. So anyways, let's take a look at it here. We do have the projector headlight system, and you see the projector tubes there, and then you have the LED running lights down at the bottom. And look at the styling in the front of this vehicle. I mean, it gets your attention. The way that the folds in the hood, the creases there in the hood. I don't know if you can see that. And then you've got the driving lights to where they're curved out. And then you have the nice big grille with the shiny Toyota emblem there in the center. It just I think it's a very impressive styling vehicle and driving vehicle and feature-rich vehicle. It's one of my favorite vehicles. Toyota has always been something that I've really liked. They dominate as far as sales on all kinds of, as far as reliability, as far as people buying them, as far as how many cars there are on the road. I mean, they dominate on so many sectors that it's hard to find fault with a Toyota for sure. But anyways, let's continue on. You can see this one has the alloy wheels, kind of stylish, sporty alloy wheels, and 17-inch. They are a painted alloy, like a silver painted alloy. You also have four-wheel disc brakes. In other words, all the brake systems in this vehicle, all of them are disc brakes. No drums or anything like that. And let's see if we can look through the water here and take a look at the features on the window sticker here, which I'll have a link to this information in the description, so you don't necessarily have to use the pause button or anything right now. And it may not even be able to see it with all the reflections and water and everything. So let's take a look here in the passenger side. Now, these windows have been tinted. They do not come from the factory with this privacy glass, so it has been added by the dealer, and something you probably want to have automatically anyway. So a lot of dealers will go ahead and have them done so you can pick out your vehicle and drive away quickly and not have to wait for the window tint to be put on. So these seats are the softest, it's like the softest seats ever. The cushion underneath the leather is super soft and comfortable. It's not too pillowy soft where it's just not firm, not supporting you, but it's just a really cushy ride and really awesome. Floor mats, they do have the carpet floor mats with Camry written in them. Now, I would suggest that you upgrade to the Toyota offers like a rubber mat that you can put in there. Some people call them slush mats or different things, but the rubber mat really protects the carpet a little bit better, so I'd ask your dealer about that. Let's take a look here in the back seat. That sticker fell off. But so here is the back seat. Now look at the bolsters here on the side of the seat. And around, you can tell it's a super comfortable seat, even in the back. And look at the legroom. You've got tons of legroom. That front seat's all the way back for the driver's side, so even then you still have plenty of legroom. See See inside the door, you know, of course you've got your pockets and everything on the door. This particular trim level, everything's pretty much hard plastic. This is a little bit soft right there, but you know, that's easy to clean up and maintain. You also have some storage pockets in the back of the seat. You have a quick access pocket there for somebody's cell phone or whatever to get in. And this folds down here. This is your armrest. It also doubles as some cup holders. These seats do fold down, so in case you need some extra storage space in the trunk, you go into Lowe's, you got a big box, you can fold down the seats, you can fold down one or the other, that kind of thing. So let's look here at the key, and it's starting to drizzle a little bit, so but I'm going to keep going. Now here's the key. It is kind of like a key fob and key all in one, and you can see it has the lock and unlock button. It also has this for opening up the trunk. So let's take a look at the back quickly. You see it has the Toyota badge, Camry badge, and the wraparound tail lights there. And then you've got like some little spoiler fins on the bottom, and then your single exhaust port there. Okay, so let's go ahead and hold this button like it says, and opens up. You notice it opens up almost all the way, so all you have to do is walk up and just kind of touch it with your hand. It goes all the way up, and you're accessing your trunk that easy. So it has a very adequate sized trunk, and you can put stuff in here. And you notice that's where the seats fold down, and you'll notice on the back of the seats it does have like some plastic there, you know, to kind of protect the seats as you're putting cargo and stuff in there. And how you put the seats down is you can pull these buttons here and unlatch them, and then that way you can push them from this side and they'll fall down, or you can go around the other side and fold them down. So let's go ahead and do that now. You can see it has this plastic right here, so your cargo doesn't damage the back of the seat. You do have the ability to hook in a cargo net right here and there, and under here is your tools for your changing your spare tire, but you also have, let's see if I can do this one-handed, a spare tire. Now, one thing to consider when you're looking at new vehicles, make sure that you get a spare tire, or at least know that you have a spare tire or not. A lot of new car manufacturers are not including them as standard, so you may buy a new vehicle and it may not have a spare tire. So just keep that in mind. This is the front license plate holder. Not everybody wants it installed, so they leave it off and leave that to the option of the new buyer, the new owner. You can, if you get locked in the trunk, you can always pull this. It is a glow-in-the-dark little handle that will release the trunk so you can get out. So, you know, so if you're ever trapped in a Toyota Camry trunk, you know how to get out now. There's your fuel door. It is on the driver's side, which is very convenient. And I'm going to go ahead and open it up to show you. This is where you open up your fuel door and your trunk there with your manual controls. So let me go ahead and pull that up. This pops open like so. And to put the gas in, basically you can unscrew this, and this kind of rests in this little spot here. You can kind of get it like so, and then that way it's not falling down and scratching your paint. It's kind of out of the way, this little holder there. And then when you're done filling the car up, you can just put this back on. Now it's letting you know on the gas cap that this is not an E85 vehicle, so it can handle up to 15% ethanol, but no more than that. And I mean, everybody's got opinions on that, but I don't really care to have too much ethanol in the gas, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyways. All right, so let's take a look on the inside. But before that, let's go ahead and check under the hood, see what the engine looks like. Okay, so I started it up so you can actually hear the engine run. And it is a quiet running engine, quiet running car. So this is the most amount of pretty much the most amount of noise you're going to hear with the hood up and everything. It's even quieter with the hood down. And there's some, you know, minimal vibrations. Now you're going to get that with a 4-cylinder for one, also one with the VVT system, because basically at idle, the VVT system's trying to, you know, basically not use any gas, because it's not, you're just trying to keep the engine run. So you're going to have a slight amount of vibration in any VVT 4-cylinder engine, or pretty much, you know, pretty much 4 cylinders in general. But once you get going, I mean, all that smooths out. You can see it has the insulation here under the hood. Now, one thing that you may or may not notice, now Toyota, and Toyota is, I mean, everything's well placed. So like say all the wiring is wrapped up, and you know, everything is secure. There's nothing loose, there's nothing hanging. It's basically, under the hood is very well designed vehicle. You know, it's a well designed, made for the long haul. And there's not an excessive, you know, amount of wires running everywhere. Everything's, you know, they try to make it as simple and easy to engineer, I guess you can say. Engineer it to where it's simple and easy and reliable. And that's just another reason why Toyota dominates in the reliability sector. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, so sitting in the driver's seat is extremely comfortable, and the seats, like I said before, are probably have the softest cushioning I've felt in a vehicle. It's amazing how comfortable this vehicle is, front and back. So let's go ahead and start with the steering wheel. We do have a leather stitched, hand stitched, leather wrap steering wheel that you can see it has the contrasting stitching there in red, and it has the grips here above the steering wheel. Now those are both for looks, but also to give you a really good grip here when you're driving along, if you really need to jerk the wheel this way to keep your hand from slipping up. So these little grips are not just for the sporty look, they have some actual function to them. So you notice on the steering wheel here, there is quite a few buttons, and so let's go ahead and start here with the left side. And the left side corresponds with this screen. Okay, so what you do on this left side of the steering wheel is going to be for this screen, and that'll be important here in a second. So basically, you have these buttons here. This is your volume, so you can turn the volume up and down, listen to commercials on the radio. And then these buttons here, you're able to like go up and down, choose your different presets or your different radio stations, and you know, it also has a back button and stuff like that, to where you can also mute the music and stuff there. And then you make your selections with the center button. So that's basically your controls there. Now it's a little bit, you know, different than what you would think. The left side of the steering wheel controls the right screen. The right side of the steering wheel controls the center screen. Okay, so I mean, it's not, you know, too off the wall, but it's a little bit different than you might, you know, originally might think. So on the right hand side of the steering wheel, you first will notice that it has these buttons here for, looks like a phone. So basically, this is to answer the phone, and this is to hang up the phone. So once you pair your Bluetooth phone with the system, you can receive calls and answer them and hang up. So you're driving along, the radio will dim down a little bit, and you'll hear the phone ringing. You push this button, and you just say hello, and you talk to the person on the other side. And when you're done talking, whether they're done or not, you just push this button here, and this will hang up. This button here is to actually make calls. So basically you push that, and once your phone is paired with the system, it'll give you the option to, basically you can say call, you know, John or whoever happens to be in your phone book. You just have to say it like it's written in your phone book. So like say if you have John D or something like that, you have to say it that way. So you can push that button, say call, you know, that person, and it'll call them for you. It recognizes your voice. So that's how you make the calls, this is how you answer the call, and this is how you hang up. Very simple, and you know, it's right there. It's a good safety feature while you're driving to use these buttons and to use the Bluetooth system, because you know, I mean, pretty much it's hard to just drive and ignore your phone. So you know, this gives you the ability to safely answer and make calls through the Bluetooth system while your eyes are on the road and your hands are on the steering wheel. So over here, these buttons, like I said, correspond with this little screen here between the gauges, and you see that you do have the, you know, the big gauges here, your miles per hour, your RPMs there on the left. You also have your fuel gauge there on the right, and then your temperature there on the left. So those are your basic, you know, necessity gauges that you really need to pay attention to. Now the center screen is more of a informational screen, and you don't actually have to have anything on that screen. It's just extra information that helps you out when you need it. You don't, like I said, it's not a 100% needed to go looking through all these features, but I'm going to just show you the features so you'll know that they're there. So at the very top, you'll notice it says 72 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the outside temperature, and it, you know, it tells you outside, and I like that. You know, some other vehicles just have a temperature and they don't tell you if it's outside or inside. So the bottom right tells you how many miles the vehicle has on it, which is 5 miles. It's a new vehicle, so it's not very many miles. Okay, on the bottom left, you will see where it says P. That means that the vehicle is in park. And just beside it, it says ODO. That stands for odometer, which is the 5 miles. And you notice there's a lot of space between the ODO and the 5 miles, and that's because the vehicle doesn't have a lot of miles on it. So the more miles you rack up, the more it'll be closer over there to the ODO. So so that's, you know, that's that. So that's just initially looking at it. Now the center of the screen, you'll see it says miles per hour, but we already have a gauge over here for that. So like I said, that's just a convenience digital number as an extra convenience feature. Also, you'll see it says distance to empty and 129 miles. Now that's an estimate based on me just sitting here not driving and all that stuff. So as you start driving, the more you drive, the more you use the vehicle, the more accurate that will be. So just to give you an idea. Okay, so right here, these buttons here, you'll see this, it looks like a stack of pages. So this is the ability to get you into different screens, basically different, you know, multiple screens, and you can go up and down in those screens, make your selections. And then the left, that's a back button there, that tells you can go back out of a screen once you go into that screen. So basically right now, I'm just going to scroll down, and you can see it's going to give me a different screen. The outer layers, like the temperature and the odometer and the park, all that stays there, just the center switches. So this gives me the average fuel economy. So it also gives me the current fuel economy. So if I was driving right now, that bar would start moving around and showing me what I'm getting in that moment. So if I really wanted to sip gas, I can kind of pay attention to my driving and not have it, you know, max out or whatever. Scrolling down again, this is your trip distance and time. So basically, back in the day, a trip would just be your distance, but this one in particular gives you the trip distance as well as the elapsed time during that trip. So let's scroll down here. Now this gives you the tire pressure on each tire. Now it's not showing anything now because the tire pressure monitoring system is only really accurate when you're when you drive around the vehicle. Now it is reading it is reading the tires. It's just not displaying it to you because the readings are going to be somewhat off in the beginning, but it is a monitor system to where if one tire was out of range, it would let you know before you start driving. Just want to make sure that that's clear. Just because it's not showing the numbers there doesn't mean that it's it's faulty or something like that, or it's going to let you drive with a flat tire. It's definitely going to alert you if there is a problem with the pressure in the tires. But it just doesn't want to alarm you by giving you false readings, like way out of range or something. Some vehicles that do show those at a standstill when you first get in the vehicle, they might show 10 pounds over pressure or something like that. So they basically keep that from alarming you, and then as you drive, they'll fluctuate, of course, because of temperature, but they will get more accurate as the wheels start turning. So scrolling down again gives you a blank screen, and that's why I mentioned you don't actually have to have anything on this particular screen. And so there's your example right there. You can just have a blank screen. You don't have to, in the case that the screen is distracting you or for whatever reason, you can just set it there. And then you scroll down again, it goes back to your miles per hour. Now that would probably be my default screen, miles per hour, as a quick way of quick reference while I'm driving, but that's completely up to you. Now I'm gonna push the pages button here, and this you'll notice will take me to a different tab. Sort of like on your computer, you have little tabs at the top. And so basically I'm just going to kind of scroll through just so you can get a visual reference there of the tab system. Alright, so I was in the information tab, which is indicated by the I at the top of the screen. So I'm going to push it again to go here, and right now it says no messages. Okay, that is, the vehicle will give you messages when you start up the car. When you get in and you start the car, if there's anything to tell you, like, hey, it's time to change the oil, there's a turn signal out, there's a tire pressure low, any kind of little message that the vehicle is trying to tell you will appear when you first start the vehicle. Now, you can say, well, I'll get the oil changed, next week or whatever. It's not on my priority today. So you can just continue on and drive the vehicle. Now, that message will, fairly briefly go away after you start driving, and it'll be stored in this place right here where it says no messages. There'll be some messages in there that are stored for you so you can refer back to them later. Of course, it's not always convenient to take note of all the messages in the moment while you're in a rush to get to work or whatever, so you can refer back to them in this screen here. All right, going to the right, this is where you go into the settings. So of course you can push this center button, which is that like a dot. It says push that dot to continue. So I can go in here and I can scroll in. I can change the language. I can change the units. That means, say, kilometers per hour versus miles per hour, or things like that. Also, that'll change everything to the metric system, basically. Drive info 1. Let's go into that. So basically, you can change the screen. Like, say, on that first screen, it showed the digital speedometer and the distance to empty. Well, you can change it to digital speedometer, and then you can change this to, say, average fuel economy, or trip average fuel economy, current fuel economy. So you can actually customize. Push the back button. You can customize that main screen, so you can have what you want on it, pretty much specifically. And there's all those are drive info 1, 2, and 3, so you can change all those to different ones that you want. And the eco indicator, you can have that on or off, stuff like that. So you've got a lot of different settings in there to customize the vehicle the way you want it, and that's in the settings tab. Alrighty, so let's go back to the information screen. So that gives you a good quick run through of the information you can get and how you can customize it in that center screen, which is very handy while you're driving. And it's something maybe a little bit to get used to, and maybe you want to switch it up a little bit to see what's most convenient for you to see while you're driving, if anything. So I like the way they highly customize that screen for you. They make it to where you can customize it. Now on the back of the steering wheel, you'll notice these little things here that's sticking up. These are called paddle shifters, and they extend down. See if you can see that on the back of the steering wheel. They go all the way up here and right here. So basically, you can pull back on this section here, and it will, that's how you switch gears. And you don't have to use that. It's a feature to where if you wanted to really get a sporty driving and have control, full control over the shift points, you can use those paddle shifters in sport mode and really do some aggressive driving. It does have rev matching when you're downshifting too, so it keeps everything smooth. Pretty cool feature. Alright, so let's move on here. This is your headlight control here, and so basically you have an automatic mode, and then you've got your regular parking light and headlights and all that stuff, and you can dim your lights and do your high beams and low beams like that. Now over here to the left, you do have a traction control button. You can turn that off. Default is on, so that button will keep your vehicle stable, driving on slippery conditions and stuff like that. Keep your vehicle from spinning tires and spinning out and losing traction. So that's a really key feature there as far as safety. So you want to leave that on. The only time you want to turn that off is when your vehicle's stuck and mud or snow or something like that, and you know that you need to spin tires, rock the vehicle, whatever you got to do to get unstuck. So basically that's the ability to turn that off. Alright, you also have this storage pocket here to the left. It's like a little place to put change or something. Alrighty. Here on the door you have your window controls. The front two are automatic, so you can push it hard all the way down, and it'll continue to lower until it's all the way down. You have the ability to lock out the rear windows using that button, and that way the rear passengers will not be able to roll up or down their window, and so they got to be nice to you basically, or you can lock them out. You also can lock the doors and unlock the doors there. You can also do that on the key. The side mirror controls, you just have to choose a side, left or right, and then you can use this pad here to adjust it. Now the center position is once you finish adjusting your rear view, your side mirrors, you want to put it back into the center position, and that way you don't accidentally touch it and mess up your mirrors once you get them set. Also hidden back here, that's not really hidden, but it's out of the way, and that is your cruise control. So basically down here, you can set it by doing that number, just pushing it down. You can turn on and off the cruise control, and it gives you an indicator there that it's on. So once you turn it on, make sure it's on the screen there, and you can set it, and then you can adjust your speed by going up and down. You can also resume your speed after pushing the brake pedal. Will disengage your cruise control, and then you can always resume it. So it's really simple and easy to use, and it's kind of out of the way. So that's that. Alrighty, so here's the center stack, and this is one of the reasons why I think that Toyota really dominates with their car sales, because it's simple, feature rich, and easy to use. And of course this is just one of the reasons. So you'll notice you have very large buttons here, very large, easy to read. It tells you you understand this is audio. There's no mistaking the easy to read big buttons. At the top you've got this big volume knob, and you have tune through the stations knob on that side, and you got your CD player in the middle. That's what everybody's used to. Everybody, of course you have the controls on your steering wheel, but this is the most standardized feature, I guess, in any vehicle, is a knob to turn the volume up and down on the left, and then your knob on the right to tune through the stations. Everybody's familiar with that. Okay, so So you do have the CD player. So pushing the audio button, this takes us to the ability to select an audio source. Now this is a touchscreen, so I can choose AM, FM, Bluetooth audio. Also, when a CD's in there, this will light up and you have this option for a CD, and also the USB, if you have something plugged in there, that will light up, and also your auxiliary input will light up. So right now we are limited on the options only because we don't have the other ones plugged in anything, and that's a good thing because that way it gives you what you can use and not just a whole bunch of buttons and to confuse you. So once you put in a CD, all of a sudden that pops up now, and then you have that option. No sense in give you an option that you don't have. So I think that's really cool. Plus you can reorder these. So I can say I want let's say I want AM to be over here. I can do that and hit OK. So now AM's over there. So so that's pretty cool, and that you can customize it pretty cool, put in a way that you want. Also, it's telling me that the phone is not available. There's no phone paired, the time there, and what screen I'm in. So that's that's pushing the audio again. This takes us to the radio here, which I selected, which is the FM. So FM selected, and then you got your presets there. You can also change to the stations, you can scan, you can adjust your sound, all that good stuff from that screen. And that's your audio button. Moving down here to the car button, let's push that. This is pretty cool because this gives you information about your car, like say your average speed, your lapse time, and your range in with the available fuel that you have. And you have basically a current and different graphs that you like, kind of like a visual reference next to it, which is pretty cool. And you can clear it all out and restart over again. It's basically real detailed trip information there. And then you've got your past records there if you want to save it. And then set up, let's push that button, and this is where you can pair your cell phone. You can set up your voice controls, because basically the vehicle has to get used to the way you talk. So you can set up the way set up the voice commands basically, and your display, your Bluetooth, your phone audio, your vehicle settings. You can all this is where you can really customize the screen, the different features, and to where it makes it more convenient for you. Right here you've got a seek. You can seek through the stations, or you can change through the CD tracks. And then there's your phone button, and this phone button basically let me go ahead and push it. This is, you go straight into it wants to pair, but once you pair your phone, then you'll have the option of seeing your phone book and different things like that. So right now there's no phone paired to actually see all that stuff. So down here you do have your climate control. Right above it is your four-way flashers, emergency flashers. It's telling me that the passenger airbag is off. It does have a sensor in the seat that will sense the somebody sitting in the seat, and it'll turn the passenger airbag on when needed. This is your fan control. This is your temperature, so you can adjust your temperature, your fan control. You can turn the fan off by pushing in there, and also here's where you want the air to blow. And your recirculation button is here. That recirculates the interior air. It gets you the coldest air conditioning because it's recirculating already cooled air, but also its ability to block out any outside air. So like say if there's some kind of odor or smoke in the air, and you just you don't want a truck's in front of you is bellowing out smoke or something like that, or you're passing by a farm and you don't want to smell that. But so that you can push that button there and it blocks the outside air, and that's another use of that button. Alright, so down here you do have the little compartment here, and it is pretty good size. It goes in quite a ways. I mean, I can stick my whole hand in there, and I don't know if you can see that. Let me turn on the night vision so you can see in that pocket really well, because it goes in there a lot more than what you would originally think just by looking. It's a really good handy spot to have something. I guess you can put your cell phone in there or whatever. And also, whatever you put in there, you can charge it, because you do have this, you have this 12-volt power supply, but you also have this place where that's your USB and your auxiliary inputs right there. So everything's neatly located in a place where you can plug them in. And you'll notice it has this little place right here, this little place that's open, to where when you close this down, your wires can pass through this little hole here, so you can close it down and still have your wires coming out charging your phone or whatever. So that's a really cool, well-designed feature. So let me turn the night vision back off. Alright, so here's your cup holders, and not just regular cup holders, they are self-adjusting cup holders, because you have these two articulating pieces here. So when you put a cup in here, it's going to basically fold down and fill in any empty space that you may have to keep that cup from wobbling around. I think that's a really good safety feature, because if you don't want to fumble around with a hot cup of coffee while you're trying to drive. So, because that could literally cause an accident. So this articulation of filling in the void here on the cup is a way of keeping that cup secure, but at the same time you can remove it easily, put it back in easily. So you can see this articulates down in two different places, and it is very easy to move. It's not going to catch on your cup or anything. So pretty neat design. That's on both sides there. Alright, so moving on to the shifter. Now this is an automatic transmission, and so basically it has this boot. At first glance you might think, hey, that looks like a manual, but it's not. It just has the boot similar to some manuals have, and it is like it matches with the leather look with the I don't think this is particular real leather. It may be, I'm not sure, but then you have the red stitching there. It's kind of like a French accented stitching, and you'll see that throughout the vehicle, even on the dash, on the seats. Really cool looking. So basically, with your foot on the brake, you can change by moving it over, and then there's reverse. Now you notice, I don't know if you heard that, but it actually locked the doors, and also pops up the backup camera. Now the backup camera is standard on all 2015 Toyota Camrys, and you notice everything's kind of rounded looking. It kind of looks like the earth is super small and round. That is because it is kind of like a GoPro camera system. It is a wide angle view lens, and so you notice you can see from the bumper all the way to the sky. And also you can see very wide view from behind you. That gives you the best visibility behind you. Now it is distorted, so that's where those lines come in. Those lines kind of clue you in to the width of your vehicle as you're backing up. So that way, and also it gives you a red line there. See that red line? That's letting you know, like, hey, that's really close. That's like that. You don't want to get any closer than that. So it does, because you might be able to, you might think, okay, I got a little bit of space there and keep backing up. Well, that red line is saying, hey, that's pretty much the limit. You don't want to go any further than that. So, so the wide angle lens gives you the best visibility, but the distortion of a wide angle lens can be confusing. So that's why they added those lines. That's the basic point I'm trying to make. Okay, so let me continue on with the shifter, and I go down here to neutral, and you'll notice that that's a different position. Like, say, you see the way this is laid out. This is the way the shifter, when you go over and then down, that's basically what you're doing. So you go over and down, and then you go down. That goes to a different, like over here, so you can't accidentally just push it up in the reverse or whatever. I mean, you can't do that anyway without being stopped with a foot on the brake. And then you can go down here straight down. So neutral and drive are easy to just switch back and forth, and that's a good safety feature. I mean, if you were to need to put it in neutral for some reason, all you do is bump it, and it goes straight into neutral, disengages the engine from the tires, and you know, so that's a good thing. But going into reverse and going into park, those are completely different things, and that's why they had that design. Well designed. Toyota did a really good job with this, in my opinion. Okay, so down here in drive, and it does give you, as you're shifting, it gives you some visual references there, which gear you're in. Okay, so down here in drive, you're just driving around. That's your, you know, that's your normal drive. You put it in gear and you just drive around. You don't have to think. But if you push it over this way, like so, this goes into sport mode. Now, you can continue to drive just like you would, but it emphasizes to the vehicle that you want the highest performance. You don't want to, you're not caring at this point about fuel economy. You want to get to the highest performance that the vehicle can do. This side is basically normal driving, save me some gas. Okay, this is, I need to get to the hospital quick. Now, another feature with that is shifting gears manually. You can do that two ways. One is with the paddle shifters I showed you here on the steering wheel. So, and it'll, as you shift through, it will give you a very clear big indicator of what gear you're in. Also, you can do it kind of like a ratchet shifter, so you can adjust it like that. So you can go, you can do that number, and that's kind of reminiscent of the old, you know, 60s and 70s ratchet shifter. So you go, you bump it, next gear, next gear, next gear, which is pretty cool. So you have two ways of shifting gears in the sport mode on this vehicle. And of course, you can always do that number, go back in the drive, and the vehicle takes over shifting gears for you. Don't have to think about it. I mean, the vehicle is quick and, you know, has the acceleration and everything in drive. It's just, it also tries to save you some gas at the same time. So just, you know, I'm not trying to say this is a weak vehicle just because you have it in drive. It just gives you the extra ramped up sport mode. Alright, so let's go back and put it back in park, and the doors are unlocked again. So now you've got this pretty cool little handy pocket. It's not too deep, and that's for a reason, because deep pockets tend to get cluttered. This is for quick access stuff. So like, say you could put your cell phone there, you know, your wallet, or, you know, just something that you want to, you know, quickly access. You throw it in there when you get in the vehicle, you pick it up and take it with you when you leave. It's easily seen there, and so that's basically the point of the shallowness of the container or pocket or whatever you want to call it. Now this right here is a center armrest, and so basically inside this armrest, this is where you have the big junk drawer type storage place. So in this, you will have you can put stuff, and basically it's out of the way, it's out of sight. You may forget about it, you know, you might get lost at the bottom, you know, that kind of stuff. Now it does have a power supply in there, a 12 volt. Let me turn night vision on just so you can see in there hopefully a little bit better. It does have a little carpet there at the bottom. And so basically you can put something in there, and you can charge it with the power supply, that kind of stuff. Alright, that closes up. Glove compartment is lockable, does have a key place. You open it up, very good size on the glove compartment. Plenty of room. It is hard plastic on the inside, there's no carpeting or anything. So basically, this gives you the ability to clean it out, basically, is what I have to say about it. Now, here's your rear view mirror. It is a standard kind of flippy one. You can just flip it up and down, and you know, for night mode or day mode. Up here, you've got tap lights. So you got quick access reading light when you need it. You also have the place to put your shades, and it's a pretty good size place to put your shades. So even if you had like some Hollywood sunglasses, or you know, something like that, that looks like they will fit in there. And it has a really soft material in there to protect your sunglasses all the way around on the inside, which is a plus because you don't want scratched sunglasses. Sunglasses are expensive, so some of them are. So here's the visor. It does have a mirror. It slides open and it does slide close. That's, you know, for a reason. So that way you're not distracted by a mirror while you're driving and or you know, reflecting something and blinding you, that kind of thing. And this also has the little extension there, so you know, when you have it up here like that, you can kind of fills in that little space, or when you have it folded over to the other side, it kind of helps out with that, because it seems like doesn't matter where you put your visor, the sun always peeks around it, so that kind of helps with it. It's never going to be completely eliminated. Alrighty, so let's take a look back here, see what the visibility looks like. Very good visibility back there. Let's see your dome light. And the dome light has the ability to have the off position, like say if you have a child sleeping and you don't want to open up the door and the light, you know, wake up kids or whatever, you can have it off. You can also have it to where the door is open, it turns on, or on right now. There you have it. If you have any questions or anything, please leave it in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have any experience with the 2015 Toyota Camry or any Toyota Camry, please leave it in the comments, share your thoughts and your experiences. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. And thank you to Sparks Toyota for allowing me to show you this awesome car. Sparks Toyota is an amazing dealership. It's located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and they have an awesome staff. Check out their reviews. That's one of the reasons why, like I said, that I is working with Sparks Toyota, because I looked around and they had some of the best reviews around as far as Toyota dealerships, and in Toyota in general, just has really good reviews. So anyways, there it is, 2015 Toyota Camry SE. Thank you for watching. See you next time.